Nice chunky fish. Oh, I love watching them fight around that clear water. Beautiful. Folks, up here stream fishing, it's not always about the size of the fish you're catching, it's about the beauty that's around you. Look at that nice thick fish. Beautiful cutthroat. Thanks, buddy. Hello and welcome to the Angler's Xperience. Got a good show in store for you today. We're going to be showing you an alternative method for catching stream trout. It's a deadly tactic and not many people are using it. What we're doing is we're rigging up a 3-inch bass minnow on a little tiny jig head. We've caught everything from 32-pound lake trout down to crappie with this, and it will work in the stream, so stay tuned. I'll show you how to fish it.
The Angler's Xperience is proudly sponsored by Crestliner, leader by innovation. Tobler Marina, your one-stop boat shop. Oxart, your single-source supplier. Lincoln Electric, the welding experts. Easy Loader, all boat trailers are not created equal. And Honda Marine, it's all about power.
Oh boy, that feels like a good one. Nice little cutthroat. Ooh, he's pulling line. He's pulling hard. Feels like a good one. Oh, look at that one pull. Wow. What? Look at this. What is this? Folks, you're not going to believe this. This is a smallmouth bass. I don't know, what is that? That is a smallmouth bass. Oh man. Folks, I've been fishing this river since I was about 7 years old. And I have never in my life caught a smallmouth bass in here. I can't believe that. The reservoir is about 35 to 40 miles downstream from here. This fish has come a long ways. Smallmouth bass. We're going for cutthroat, I promise. This is a big surprise to me. Using a bass minnow, catch a bass, even if you're in the middle of nowhere, I guess. That's weird. That's just weird. There's one right there. The fish there's pulling awful hard. Look at that. That is a big cutthroat right there, guys. On the bass minnow. Look at that. net this fish if I can get him here. Usually don't use the net, but boy, that is a nice one. That right there, folks, is a nice cutthroat. That fish, this little net here is pretty trick. You don't have to pull them out like this and measure them. It's got 10 inches on this side. It's got 6.5 on that side. That's about a 16 incher, but he's nice and fat. No doubt he's been in here eating his fair share of sculpin. Get that barbless hook out of him here. Beautiful fish. See the cuts underneath the cheeks right there. That's why they call him a cutthroat. Just a beauty. All right, let's get that fish back. He's nice and healthy. All right, buddy, get you resting up here. Beautiful fish. Get his wind. There he goes. Thanks, partner. Beautiful fish. You're gonna go down there and rest. Swing it back to me, Mickey. The baits that we're using here today is Berkley's 3-inch bass minnow, and this is probably the most versatile bait that I have found. It works for everything, but these cutthroat especially like it, and rainbows and brown trout love it also. The color that we're using today primarily is this pearl olive shad, but this pearl watermelon shad will also work well, and then this is kind of a blue pearl bait here, but they're 3-inch Berkley bass minnows, and we're rigging them up on a 16th ounce bulk jig head, nothing fancy, and I'll show you what we're doing here. All we're doing is taking and threading them on. Now they have a back and a belly, and you want the back to be up. So what you do, take this just like this, punch it through the head, squeeze it up on there. You want to make sure the bait's perfectly straight on there. Push it up over the keeper. Now when I fish it through the water, this is going to be the belly down here and the back up top, and you just pop it along and this tail dances and it's just irresistible. And what we're trying to mimic with this particular bait, there's a lot of sculpin in this stream, and the cutthroat have come up here earlier this spring and spawned, so you've got cutthroat spawn up here also. So this little bait is imitating the sculpin, which they love, and also the little cutthroat in this river. So give that little bait a try. I think you'll love it on the cricks. There's the fish right there. Nice little cutthroat on the bass minnow. Boy, it's so clear. This water is so clear and pretty. Look at that. Come here, partner. Barbless hook, pop it right out of there. All right, partner. See you later. Oh man, that's a big one. Holy smokes. Oh wow. That's a nice one for this little creek right there. Killed that bass minnow. Nice thick one, look at that. Get the net out for this guy. This is a chunky fish right here. Look at that. What a beauty. Get the net, buddy. That is a pretty fish. About a 14-incher in the old Major net here. Let me get the hook out of him here. Beautiful little cutthroat. Nice, chunky, healthy. All right, buddy. See you later. One of the little tricks I always try to do is I try to find a hole that's got shade. It's been, you know, it's the middle of August right now. The temperature's been getting close to 100 degrees, and fish are like humans. They don't want to sit out in the bright sun, and sometimes you're going to come to a spot and you're going to have no choice but to fish in the sun. But anytime you can come to a hole like this hole here, where you've got the shade of the trees behind you, you always want to stop and fish it, because more than likely they're going to be sitting right in the shade. So always fish the shade and always try to find the shade, because remember, fish are just like us. They don't want to sit in the sun either. Nice fish right there. Real nice fish. Oh, here, Chunky. Hang on. I'm not going to hurt you. There you go. That's enough. You're fine. Nice chunky little fish. All right, buddy. Pretty little fish. All right, bud. What we've done, we've made a little transition here. When we started out this morning, we were using a full-size bass minnow, Berkeley bass minnow, 3-inch, with a 1/16 ounce jig head. And we were getting a lot of strikes, but they were just nipping at the tail. So what I've done is I've gone down to a 32nd ounce head, from the 16th to the 32nd, and I put on a colored head, a little bit of orange and green on that one. And then I've taken just the tail section of that 3-inch bass minnow and slid it on there in just the same fashion. This current up here is a little bit slower, so this is allowing the bait to flow more naturally through the current. And when they come up and strike it, they're actually getting the hook instead of biting into the tail like they were doing earlier. So if you ever get in a situation where you're getting a lot of strikes and you're missing fish, downsize your jig head, just like we did there, from 16th to 32nd, and cut your bait down. Start in half and then just work your way back until you start getting hookups. That's about the length I've found that's worked. We're going to go out and see if we can catch some more with it. Nice chubby little cutthroat. There, partner. Hang on now. There he goes. Oh, big fish. Look at that one. Oh, that one there is a piggy. Hanging out in that log jam over there. These cutthroat just love lumber. Gives them shade and cover, current break. It's a natural hiding spot for them. Come here, buddy. That little bass minnow right in the corner of his mouth. Barbless hook popping right out there. That fish there is 15.5 inches. That's a pretty little cut. The way we're working this little jig here is we're kind of quarter casting it, and we've got a real low current here, so you don't actually want to cast upstream because it's just going to push the bait into the rocks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fish this log jam over here. It's about a 30-degree angle away from me. All I'll do, throw it out, let it hit, and then just kind of pump. Oh, fish right there. Little guy. Didn't even get a chance to tell you how I was going to do it. There's a little dink right here. Hang on, buddy. Okay, let's try that over again. Throw it back in there and show you how again. Let's see. Throw it up in there. Flip the bail down and just reel real slow and just kind of shake the rod tip. There's a lot of sculpin in this river, and they dart around into the rocks, and there was one right there. They're real quick, so all you're doing is just you're trying to imitate one of those little guys popping around in the water. You don't want to overwork the bait. Throw it up in here again. Just kind of work it. Just keep the slack out of it. Reel it real slow. Kind of pop it along. Ooh, that's a nice one. There's a nice one. There's a nice one, guys. That's a nice long fish right there. Little tiny crick. This is a pretty big one. See how big that fish is in the old net here. 7 and 8. That's a 15-incher. That jig head wound up in that skirting there on the net. Damn, buddy. It'll be alright. Stay out of your mouth. That's a beauty. Pretty orange under the belly, slits on the throat. Pretty fish. There he goes. Nice cutthroat. On the bass mouth. Nice fish. That's a 15-inch fish, nice and chunky. There's the hook, I think. Nice, chunky, healthy fish. Beautiful. Got a little weight to him, a little girthy. Beautiful fish. All right, partner, let's slide you back in the water. I want to take a second here to show you this net. I actually picked it up here before we headed up to the river. And it's real trick. It's a measuring net, and if you can see right down in the center of the net, it's 0, and then it counts up in inches this side, 12 inches to the top, and then 0 to 12 on this side. And when the fish lays in there, what you do, if he's say 7 on this side and 7 on this side, you add the two together and you get 14. But it's just one less step in handling the fish. You can just put them in the net and see how long they are. Thought it was a pretty trick idea, and I'm starting to like this little net. Oh, that one's 5 feet. Not a big one. Boy, is he ornery. He's going all over the place. Come over here, buddy. This little chubby guy. Look at that. That's a pretty nice fish. Get this guy over here. Come here, buddy. Nice cutthroat. That there, it's a 16-inch fish. That's a nice one. Beautiful colors. I love these fish to death. Get this hook out of here. Well, folks, that right there. Well, folks, that right there is what bass minnow fishing for stream trout can do. Nice, beautiful 16-inch cutthroat. Tell you what, we fished our butt off today. We've walked into this stream about 3 miles. I know my camera guy's tired. I think we're gonna call it a day, but you need to get out there, use soft plastics on these trout, and you'll catch big fish just like this guy right here. I'm gonna slide this one back in. As always, hope you enjoyed the show. Look forward to seeing you next week.